Hey everybody, it's Katie Lambert here. I am the team leader of Team Evo AZ at eXp Realty and also an associate broker for those of you who don't know. And I have some very, very special guests with me today. I have JD, who is also on Team Evo AZ and lovingly known as the New Build Ninja.
Hi.
And we have Ryan Gilliam, who is also a part of our team, not necessarily Team Evo AZ, but a huge part of what we do. Right, Ryan? We can call you that.
Definitely, yes. We've been together for a while. Pleasure working with the team.
Absolutely. And so we have Ryan Gilliam with Waterstone Mortgage on the call with us today. Super excited to dig into this because I have found that I talk with a lot of people throughout the day, a lot of, new home buyers. Some people are pretty seasoned, just, kind of all walks of life there. But with the newer home buyers, ones that haven't done it before, they seem to have a bit of a hesitation. Wouldn't you agree, JD, when it comes to the first step of home ownership, of home buying? Really, that first step is to meet with your lender. And I kind of feel like people get caught up in the scariness of that.
It's terrifying. I do this every day, and I've worked with Ryan since before we started the process to buy our house now. And I was just scared of what would come up, what's on my credit, what kind of debts do I have? Is this guy going to judge me? Which I know he wouldn't because he's awesome. But thinking of it as someone who wouldn't know him, it's kind of scary giving someone all your personal info. But once you rip the Band-Aid and do it, and then you have a path of knowing exactly what you need to do, it feels so much better.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's almost like with anything, right? Like being nervous about the thing is worse than the thing most of the time.
For sure.
And so I've done it a time or two, right, Ryan? I've bought a few homes in my day.
Worked with you a few times.
Right. And so that anxiety for me is totally out the window. But JD, I know that you had that very recently, even with your current home purchase, which was a few years ago now, but you had felt those anxious feelings as well. So it's super common, even though you're in the real estate industry.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do this every day and I'm like, hey, talk to Ryan, he's awesome. And I know that, of course. But we started probably about 2 years before we bought this house with figuring out what we need to do. And Ryan was always awesome, because I'd bug him all the time. I'm like, okay, how does this look now? And this and this. But it all worked out and it happened how it should. And if we had waited, then everything might not have fallen into place like it has.
Right.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. So on our end, when we're talking with, a prospective home buyer, somebody who's looking to get into real estate, looking to purchase something, typically our initial conversation, we go over a few things, but our initial conversation is going to be regarding the lender, because really that's the first step. I mean, we need to know what can we buy, what loan program are we working with, what are our monthly payments going to be, all of that stuff that is wrapped up in there. So our first step is to speak with a lender. And that's a typically pretty easy transition for us. Wouldn't you say, JD? We just connect them with Ryan. And then after we connect clients with you, Ryan, what happens after that? Take me from there.
Yeah, it's real simple. I mean, we run into a lot of conversations with our clients that they feel like it was almost 30 years ago, where they have to come into the office, they have to dress in their Sunday best and bring all their documentation they've ever had, their firstborn child and everything. And I think they're always surprised to know that that's not really the way things work anymore. You don't have to. We could do everything over the phone. And it's a simple, quick process. It only takes maybe about 10 minutes. And that's on average how long it takes. And after that, I review everything, and within a half an hour or so, we could let you know exactly how much we could qualify you for. So we try to make it as painless as possible.
Awesome. And I've gotten a ton of feedback from our clients, and I know that you achieved that. So thank you for doing that. So, all right, so we're going to do something a little bit fun here. So walk me through it. Let's pretend, JD, you be my agent. Okay. That'll be fun. So let's pretend JD's my agent. I am this prospective home buyer. I know nothing. This is my first time doing this. I get on the phone with you, Ryan.
Yes.
Let's go from there. So let's be on the phone. What happens?
Great. Yeah. So there's really two phases of my conversation. First, I do kind of like an interview almost, to try to get an idea of, what you're looking for in terms of purchase price and payment, and then we go through the application. So we go ahead and get that started. So this is me talking to Katie here, taking your application. So this is how it goes.
Okay, so this is how it goes. So I'll ring. Hello, Ryan. I was referred to you from this absolute rock star real estate agent, Jen Duncan with Team Evo AZ, and she told me I just had to speak with you. So here I am. So what do we do next?
Well, first, Jen is an amazing agent. You're in great hands with her, and I'm excited to help you get pre-approved for a home purchase. So the first step of the process, we would just have to take your mortgage application, which we could do quickly here over the phone, and we'll do a credit check and determine how much we could qualify you for. So first question I have for you. Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm nervous, Ryan. Credit check. I have heard from like my dad and, people that you shouldn't just willy-nilly get your credit check. Do we have to do that?
Great question. First off, with our credit check, you could have up to 3 checks by a lender in a 3-month period, and it's not going to drop your score. So, and it is required because we do have to check your scores and your liabilities as well to determine what we could approve you for. So it is a requirement during the pre-approval process, but it won't drop your score.
Okay. I feel much better now knowing, because that's what I heard, that it would drop my score, and I've been working really hard on it. That's not what I want to do. So, okay, I'm cool with that.
Great question. Now, are you a first-time home buyer or have you bought before?
I'm a first timer, so hence the sweaty palms.
Okay. And will this be a house that you live in, or do you plan on renting it out?
Maybe in the future, renting it out. My goal is to have, a couple of rentals under my belt. I've heard that that's a good thing,
Yes.
but it's going to be a primary residence.
Okay, perfect. What cities are you looking to buy?
My absolute favorite city right now is, it's Phoenix. That's my favorite city. There's
Great.
so many cool things there and so many cool properties that I think I'll find what
Yes.
I'm looking for in Phoenix.
That's great. Okay, so you're looking at Phoenix. Is there a price range that you've been looking at, like online, or getting an idea of what you want to purchase?
I'm not really sure how to figure that out, but I know I can afford in my budget like $1,700 or $1,800 a month.
Perfect. That was going to be my next question. Yeah, I was going to see
Okay.
what you had budgeted. So, okay, well, that's perfect. That'll give me an idea of what we want to look for in terms of price range for you. Okay, and what is the time frame for buying right now? Are you in a lease that's expiring, or is it kind of a longer time frame that you're looking?
Yeah, so that was another question that I had, and I don't know if I should ask you or if I should ask Jen this question, but my lease is up in 2 months. So I don't know, am I too soon or should I
No,
wait?
this is great timing, actually. You'll want to do it because typically closing on a home, once you get a contract accepted, it takes about 30 days from contract to close. And,
Oh.
it might take you about 30 days to find a home, but the pre-approval is actually good for 120 days. So it's good to do it ahead of time so we can see how much you qualify for. And if there's anything that we need to do and work on, we have plenty of time to do that. So now's a perfect time to take your application.
Awesome. Okay.
Great question. And are you a veteran by any chance? Have you ever served in the military?
Not personally, no.
Okay. And how much money did you want to put down on the house as a down payment?
Well, that was my question too. So do I have to find the house first, and did they require the down payment, or how does that work? I don't really know how that works.
Oh, so the down payment, it's due at the close of escrow. But we do have to prove that you have the money in your account about a week before our closing. So you could still go out and shop around and make offers on homes, but we do just need to verify that you have the down payment saved before we can actually close on your mortgage. But there are also down payment assistance programs that we can look into that give you up to 5% of the purchase price as a grant to help with down payment. So I'd be happy to see if we could get you approved for that as well to give you another option.
Yeah, that seems almost too good to be true. So if I have some money in the bank, I don't have to use that. It's possible I could qualify for this down payment assistance.
That's correct. We could use a down payment assistance to cover your entire down payment and some of your closing costs. And working with a great agent like Jennifer Duncan, when she's making an offer, she could request to have the seller cover closing costs, and they negotiate to try to make that work. So if you actually have the seller pay closing costs and the grant pay your down payment, you could get into a home with no money down. So we could look into getting you qualified for that.
Wow, I thought that was like old school, like that went away a long time ago. I didn't realize that was
Yep.
still around. Awesome.
It is still around. Yeah, a lot of people are using it right now. It's very popular.
That's what we did.
Cool. Oh,
We talked
awesome.
about that, right? So like,
Oh, I'm not a buyer anymore. Yes, that is what you did. And clearly I know that's still around, but
Switch off the realtor. switch
as
back
the
to
buyer, I
that.
awesome. Well, I would like to look at that option.
Got it.
And now that sounds a little too good to be true. Is there a catch there? Is there something I have to pay extra, or, what's the difference?
Yeah, so the one downside of the program is the interest rates are going to be higher. So typically when you put your own money down, the rates right now are in the low 3s, but if you do the grant program, it's in the low 4s. Plus there's a course you have to take. It's all online, it's free, it takes a few hours, but it gives you a certificate that allows you to do the grant. So those are the only two things that are different between that and putting your own money down. So I'd be happy to go over the options and show you what the payments will be with your own money down, and if you actually want to do the grant program so you can see the difference.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, I'll see what we could do. So as I mentioned, the first step of the process, we just have to take your application, and we could do that quickly here over the phone. We just collect your info, and it will give me enough of your information to run a credit check and determine how much we could qualify you for.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. First thing I need is your full name.
It is Katie L. Lambert,
Perfect. And date of birth.
6679.
Okay.
Somebody
And
has
social
a
security number.
birthday coming up. It's 111-11-11-11.
And current home address.
It's also 1111
Great.
West Main Street, Anytown, USA.
Perfect. And where do you currently work?
I work at an office, so I'm an office manager.
You're an office manager. What company do you work with?
I work for GoDaddy.
GoDaddy. Okay, great. And how long have you been with GoDaddy?
3 years.
3 years now. Okay. And income-wise, how much do you get as your yearly salary at GoDaddy?
About 65,000 a year.
65,000. Okay, perfect. Do you have any other income coming in? Social security income, second jobs, things like that?
I kind of have a little side gig, but I guess it's more of a hobby. I don't know if you would want to count that. I'm in the red most of the time.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And based off of your salary, actually, do you get any bonuses or overtime?
Sometimes, yeah, usually a
You do?
Christmas bonus. Mhm.
A Christmas bonus. Okay, great. We'll take a look at that as well. And how much would you say you have saved up right now in checking and savings?
I have about 12,000.
12,000. Okay. Any retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, things like that?
Yes, sir. Yep.
You do. Great. How much would you say you have saved in there?
Probably about 70,000.
About 70,000. Okay, perfect. Great. And do you have any child support or alimony you pay or receive?
No, sir.
And have you filed taxes for the past 2 years?
Yes,
Okay. Do you owe anything on your taxes, or do you typically get a refund?
I get a refund.
You do. Okay, perfect. Okay. And are you okay with us doing your credit check today?
Yes, now that I know that it's not going to dip my score, yes.
Perfect. Well, what I'll do now is I'll do a credit check, and based off of your credit score, your liabilities, and the income we just discussed, I'll be able to call you back within about 15 minutes and let you know how much we could qualify you for with your own down payment and with using the grant program. So I'll be calling you back here shortly and going over all your options.
Awesome. So just like that, like
Just like that.
15 minutes later, I have a little piece of paper that says I can go look at property.
Yes, this will be called a credit approval. And technically with a credit approval, you are able to go out and start shopping for homes. But on the pre-approval letter, it's one specifically made for Arizona. There's check boxes on there that says if we receive some of your income documents or not. So for now, it'll be saying no, because we've only done a credit check in your application. But we will send you a list of some documents we recommend you put together and send over to us, like your pay stubs and W-2s, just so we could issue you a full pre-approval letter with all those boxes checked yes, which looks a lot stronger to sellers. So we can work on that after we get your credit approved.
Awesome. So just so that I know, I'm a planner. I'd like to start gathering that information. So
Yes.
it's, you had said bank statements, you had said pay stubs. You asked me about taxes. Are you going to want to see returns or pay or like W-2s or anything like that?
A lot of times we won't need the tax returns. We can actually look that up directly with the IRS. So the only thing we would really need is 2 years of W-2s, 30 days of pay stubs, and 2 months of bank statements and a quick picture of your photo ID. And that would be enough for us to get you pre-approved.
Well, that doesn't seem so bad. I think I can collect that here in the next 2 minutes.
Yep.
So awesome. Well, I'm really excited about this. Is there anything else that I need to know right now before you go do your thing and let me know the outcome?
At this time, we're ready to go. I'm going to be doing your credit check, and I'll call you back and we'll go over your options. And when you're pre-approved, I'll call Jennifer, let her know what you're qualified for so she could connect with you, and maybe you guys could start looking at homes.
Awesome. So thank you. I hung up as the buyer. So I'm Katie again. So it's short and sweet. And that
was it.
How most of your calls go, right?
That's how it goes. Yes. It's usually, that was what, 10 minutes, I think. So that's typically how long it takes. And at this time I'll do a credit check, and I'll run through a desktop underwriter, which is kind of like an automated approval system to determine the max loan amount we can qualify for. And then I would call you back and we kind of go over your max approval, where we want to be budget-wise in terms of your purchase price, so you don't go over that payment that you mentioned. And then I'll send you an email kind of reiterating what documents we need from you. And then, of course, I'll call Jen Duncan, give her the good news, so you would start shopping around for homes at that time.
Awesome. So question about your callback. Now,
Yes.
What if in your research in that, couple of minutes that you're off the phone, now that you have my information, what if you find some things on my credit report that are going to get in the way of you issuing a pre-qualification? What conversation happens then?
Yes. So what we do is we have a conversation about what needs to be done to eventually get you qualified. If we're speaking to you and you don't get approved, we work with a lot of people that need some work to get qualified. Maybe pay down a credit card, maybe pay off an old collection, maybe save up a little bit more. We call it our Path to Buy program. So we always put someone on a path to buy if they don't qualify right now. So if something comes up on credit and we need to make sure we do a few things before we can issue a pre-approval letter, what we do, we send you a copy of your full report. This is free of charge. We pull it's called a tri-merge, so we pull all 3 credit bureaus. And it's good because it's a lot different than what you pull as a consumer, like on Credit Karma or free credit report. That's a consumer credit check, and sometimes those scores could be inflated. And the ones bank pulls, because it uses a different algorithm, rates, and credit scores usually a little bit lower because of that. So it's good to have one pulled by a bank. So we'll send that over to you, and we'll break down what needs to be done line by line to get you qualified. And we'll continue to follow up and help guide you through the process. So if you feel like there's some things that need to be done in your credit and you're concerned and you don't want to start the process, it's still a great idea to take an application, because we do that and we guide you free of charge to make sure we find a way to get you approved eventually.
Awesome. That was my question, because I know that there are companies out there that help you repair your credit, and they charge like oodles and oodles and oodles to do so. So you are obviously very experienced. I know that you've done this 1,000 times for my clients. I know that. But I think the biggest piece is that you're experienced, you know what you're doing, you can guide them, and you don't charge anything. And I think that's a huge piece.
Yeah, there's a lot of credit repair companies out there that charge $200 to $500 a month for their services. And a lot of it is you can all do on your own. So I kind of guide you and show what needs to be done, what needs to be paid down. There's different tricks that you could do to dispute something that was old. And I kind of guide you through that. That's basically everything that they do, and they charge an arm and a leg for, that you can do on your own, pretty easily in like an hour or so. So yeah, we'll guide you and train you on how to do that.
I love it. And before we end here, I do want to tell our audience, because I'm so super excited about it, and this is a great transition into, because we're talking about credit, we have a challenge coming up. It starts on June 8th, and we're going to be going for 5 days, and Ryan is going to help you repair your credit on your own, because you heard it from the horse's mouth, folks. We can do this on our own as humans. We just need to know what to do. So we're going to be doing that.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. I'm sure there's even something even I can learn, Ryan.
We'll go over a lot of stuff, and hopefully everybody learns something from it. We'll dive deep into tricks and things you could do quickly to get your score up. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And I love having you, you know, somebody as experienced as yourself to offer the guidance to our clients, because credit is crazy. It's like,
Yes.
freaks people out. People don't get it, you know, and so it can be difficult to understand and can be difficult to, you know, move forward in the direction of repairing if you're absolutely clueless. So I really appreciate you offering that expertise to our clients. It's been
Happy
extremely
to help. Looking forward to it.
cool. All right. Well, I think that's it. We're going to wrap up our mock call. I really appreciate you both being here and you sharing your personal story, JD, because I think, you know, it's a great personal story. And look at you now. You're about to build a pool in this awesome house that you were hesitant about calling Ryan about to begin with. And you're like killing it over there.
Yeah, dude. So we did the grant and it got us in, and now we have 112,000 in equity.
Oh,
So
amazing.
in just a few years, if we had waited to save up more for a down payment, the price would be so much higher. So doing that grant was amazing to get us in and start building equity versus continuing to rent.
Absolutely.
And now you've had personal experience. So there's a couple of little extra things like Ryan mentioned that you've got to do, but I mean, you're obviously still here with us, so it didn't kill you. Was it that big a deal?
No, the class was easy. It was super easy.
Cool.
A lot of people who take it, they love it too, because there's a lot of detailed information about, you know, what goes into buying a home, budgeting, monthly payments, tricks of paying it off sooner. I get a lot of great feedback about the class where even if they didn't do the grant program, they're like, I would have wanted to do this anyways. So,
Still good. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's think about it. I don't know about you all, but this kind of stuff wasn't taught to us in school.
No.
I mean, yeah, we had like basic economics, but unless you went to college for this type of thing, like that, I can understand why a lot of people are clueless about it.
yes.
You know, you've got to be in the know in order to really understand it. And so I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you so much for being on the call, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And if anybody wants to follow Ryan, you can do so on Facebook. I have actually linked his page to the caption here. So
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Click on there. You can message him on Facebook. Ryan, do you want to give out your phone number in case somebody would rather text you?
Absolutely. Yes. My number is 480-635-3035. You can call or text that number.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hope you have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.